have 5 registered delegations for this afternoon. I will now call upon delegates on item agenda 7.1, plant-based treaty. Is that the name, Miss Hinosa? No problem. Just come up forward and just state your name for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Anita Krajnc.
Hi, my name is Yarmin. Thank you. And Lucretia Chipetta.
Thank you.
Is it possible to get our presentation on the screen?
Sure. I think the clerk is setting that up, and just maybe whoever is speaking, just speak right to the microphone.
Next slide, please. So we're here on behalf of the Plant-Based Treaty. The Plant-Based Treaty is an initiative to try to move towards a more plant-based food system so that we can live safely within our planetary boundaries. We have 35 cities that have endorsed globally, including a number of capital cities like Edinburgh, Belfast, and Amsterdam. Most recently, Brampton endorsed, your neighboring city. We have almost 250,000 individuals have endorsed, including some prominent individuals like Sir Paul McCartney and his 2 daughters, over 100 scientists and 5 Nobel Prize winners, and over 3,500 businesses and groups.
Sorry, just to start, we want to, next slide, please. We want to acknowledge all the work that's already been done at the Town of Caledon through the Resilient Caledon Climate Action Plan. And in regards to food, specifically, we're talking about the Exchange Food Support Program, which provides healthy, fresh packaged foods to the Caledon residents on limited income. Also offers a community kitchen for nutrition, education, and meal preparation, the community gardens and urban farming support, food waste prevention that we have through education, and plant-based diets contributing to a lower carbon footprint. Next slide, please. Thank you. We also want to talk about the, maybe the one prior, yes, sorry. Yeah, we want to talk about the work on the ground for the plant-based treaty. So we have a chapter here in Caledon. So we are very much all about supporting local economies, local restaurants. We have a program called 100 Cafe Campaign. Also, we're very involved in the community. For example, we're going to be one of the vendors at the event called City Saturday, hosted by the Caledon Public Library. And also we're going to be in collaboration with our friends Eco Caledon for Earth Hour, where we're going to be talking all about sustainability, and also we're going to be providing free hyper-nourishing green smoothies for the public. Thank you.
Next slide, please.
That's me again. So many of you know me as the co-chair for Eco Caledon, and we do a lot of work championing climate action here in the town of Caledon. And as a group over the last 5 years, we've been very focused on food-related climate solutions, and more specifically, how switching to a plant-rich diet, basically making vegetables the star of the meal rather than the supporting actor, is one of the biggest actions that individuals can take when it comes to reducing their carbon footprint and impacting climate change. We've been building awareness and food-related climate solutions through our Gratitude for Food program. We've actually donated over 500 meals to the Exchange, all completely plant-based, and again, promoting different food-related climate solutions through our various community events. For example, the Earth Hour event that will be coming up in collaboration with the Town of Caledon at the end of March. And most recently, we've endorsed the plant-based treaty based on the work that we've been doing.
Thank you, Lou. Next slide, please. So your neighboring city, Brampton, endorsed the plant-based treaty alongside introducing a very ambitious plant-based action plan. There's a quote we have here from Councillor Tour food systems account for a third of global greenhouse gas emissions. Brampton became the first city in Ontario to endorse this treaty, considering plant-based, locally sourced and sustainable food procurement options for city events. Facilities should be a key part of our city's climate plan. Spreading awareness of plant-based food options is also an important aspect of this commitment. So they endorsed in November of 2024. Next slide, please. So this is the actual motion without the whereases. So there's a page of whereases, but these are the calls to action. So the city plans to publish a plant-based treaty action plan in the next 6 months and have already committed to increasing plant-based food and drink options at city council meetings and civic events, alongside public information campaigns about the climate and health benefits of plant-based diets. They're going to promote a plant-based awareness week, probably during Earth Month, and evaluate the potential for increasing plant-based food options and introducing plant-based defaults in the City of Brampton facility and during regional events. Next slide, please. So the plant-based treaty consists of 40 suggested proposals. None of them are legally binding. They're just suggestions. And each city, depending on the jurisdiction it has, and the interest, they can zero in on specific proposals. So one of the proposals that's most popular is the public information campaign. That's proposal number 8. And when you think of public education, it can have many facets. It could be cooking demonstrations and food sampling. It could be an ad campaign. It could be as a mayoral proclamation to have like a veg week or a veg month. It could be plant-based challenges to businesses. It could also be an advisory working group, a food advisory working group. So I'd just like to zero in on one of them. So the next slide, please. So the first part of the treaty is redirect. So redirect to promote healthy, eco-friendly, plant-based foods. And the second principle is relinquish, so don't expand deforestation. And the third is restore. And so what I'd like to focus on today is this particular principle of redirect. Next slide, please. So, just waiting for
Maybe next slide, please.
So this is Exmouth. It's a seaside town in the United Kingdom. And one of the councillors introduced monthly potlucks. And they say, bring a non-vegan friend, bring your recipe, bring cutlery, so it's zero waste. And there's some beautiful pictures there showing these monthly potlucks. Next slide, please. This is so that was an example of, food sampling. This example is of ad campaigns. A number of cities have launched ad campaigns, including the one on the screen here is New York City's Eat a Whole Lot More Plants. So it's about whole foods, promoting whole foods. So in 2023, the health department of the New York City launched this Eat a Whole Lot More Plants campaign aimed at helping New Yorkers reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. The Eat a Whole Lot More Plants campaign urges New Yorkers to put more whole food plants on their plates. It ran for 1 month on TV, radio, subways, digital channels, outdoor media, and so forth. Mayor Eric Adams also invited the private sector, so businesses, to join the New York City in its efforts for the New York City Plant-Powered Carbon Challenge. So I put that's also on the screen. So their economic department was involved in this as a way for the business community to reduce their carbon footprint by 25% by 2030 through plant-powered menus and plant-based default programs. Next slide, please. So West Hollywood also endorsed the treaty late last year, before the fires. So they are delivering the most comprehensive Veganuary public education campaign ever seen in a U.S. city as a result of endorsing the treaty. And it's aimed at residents, city staff, and businesses. So again, it's something Caledon consider, like maybe having your city staff participate in it for January, and also aiming at public education at residents and also businesses. The city is also offering a climate credit against city fees for businesses offering plant-based options, and they're co-hosting a town hall for the LA Climate Week. Next slide, please. Given this is a farming community as well, it's important to provide financial support and training for farmers, ranchers, fish people to move to diversified agroecological systems. So please consider providing funding support to do some plant-based action in Caledon so it aligns with the town's climate action plan. In Europe, for example, the German Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture has launched a Farmers' Opportunities Program, allocating 30 million euros in the federal budget to help farmers transition to producing innovative protein and climate-friendly foods. And the Irish government is contributing 2 billion euros for a retirement scheme that's being considered to encourage farmers to, promote carbon-friendly foods. We just have a couple more slides. So the next slide is the health considerations. We have, there's an increasing burden of chronic disease in Canada, including in children and diets. And diet is a leading factor for mortality. And we spoke to Dr. Zara Kassam. She's with a group called Plant-Based Canada, and she's also a professor at U of T. And so she's organized, I think, 6 of these conferences already. Ill health has a negative consequence on the economy. And also plant-based diets are important for prevention, treatment, and reversing chronic disease. And I wanted to promote something that it's called the hyper-nourishing green smoothie by Dr. Brooke Goldner. She had lupus when she was 16, and then she reversed her lupus through a hyper-nourishing green smoothie. And so there's a lot of cruciferous vegetables, raw cruciferous vegetables like kale, chard, spinach, and you add some flaxseed or chia seed, which has omega-6, some water, and then some fruit to make it tasty. So she eats a pound of greens, these raw greens, every day, and it really helped her. And I just encourage all of you, because I'm on day 45 and I feel healthier, happier, and more energetic. So I strongly encourage you to look up Dr. Goldner. She's very inspiring. She's very happy and cheerful, and she does a public service by offering her services for free. Next slide, please. And this is our last slide, and I'll just let maybe Yarmin to step up.
Sure. So thank you for your time. So we're wondering if you could consider a proposed motion, such as, for example, the town of Caledon endorsing the plant-based treaty. This way, you can promote plant-based foods at city events and facilities, promote participation in events like Veganuary in the month of January with staff, with individuals, with the community, also during Earth Hours, just promoting sustainability, and also spreading awareness through a celebratory plant-based food week, also through social media, posts, and literature, to benefit the town of Caledon. Also, we have provided some resources. We have template motions that you can look at and that you might like to hopefully consider to introduce it in council. Also, we have a document provided to you, which is called the Plant-Based Treaty in Action, which has over 100 examples of actions of different cities globally that perhaps you might find inspiring. Also, Caledon, and we have a chapter here in Caledon as well, and we're in close partnership with Caledon. Thank you so much, Mayor Gross and City Council. Thank you.
Thank you for your delegation. Really appreciate your passion and advocacy. I see there's a few speakers or a few questions. Mayor Groves?
Thank you, Chair, and through you, thank you for your delegation. Thank you for being here. And you touched on one thing that I find extremely important throughout this whole thing is the health aspect of this. And you know what they say, right? We are what we eat, and we can work out and exercise as much as we want, but if we're not eating healthy, makes no difference. One of the things you touched on, and I thought it was very important in your slide, is type 2 diabetes, and I was recently diagnosed with it, I guess a couple of years ago. And I've always been a strong advocate with respect to diabetes, because most people are not aware, and it's been through my family, generations, but it really, I don't think people truly understand how serious diabetes is. It affects every limb and every organ in your body. And it becomes a huge cost on our healthcare system. And I will tell you that the Region of Peel has done, their health department has done extensive research on diabetes. We also know that diabetes is also on the rise, and we've seen that in Peel region. And the region has presented reports and made presentations on the increase that they are seeing in the region of Peel with respect to diabetes, and recognizing that part of this is also a cultural is also related to cultural because of the food that people are eating and that, and then also it's the lifestyle that people have. We're always eating on the go. I go sometimes through McDonald's and at the end of a late night and order McDonald's, and you're eating and then you're going to sleep. And so all of those things are, I think, are contributing factors to diabetes. And again, it leads to other complicated health issues. You have heart disease that it will lead to. Obviously, kidney disease. You have people on dialysis. It's very, very costly to the healthcare system. So I'm always of the opinion and work on preventing things from happening, because if we can prevent, it's a lot less expensive than treating it. And so I am happy to support a motion and in supporting your plant-based treaty, because I think education is extremely, extremely important. The region also did some work many, many years ago, and believe it or not, over 49%, I think it was 49 or 50% of people in Peel region are obese. It's a problem, and we're talking children. And if we don't start educating and raising awareness around healthy eating, those kids that are struggling with obesity, it becomes a problem for them in their adulthood. And so I think we have opportunities to work with you. Caledon Day is coming up, I think June 14th. We have thousands of people that attend our Caledon Day event. And I think it would be a really great partnership with the Town of Caledon for you to be out there and for us to help you promote healthy eating and plant-based eating, and really educating the public on how important it is. And I know that type 2 diabetes can be reversed through diet and exercise. And so I think that this is really important. We also have a very aggressive climate change action plan, which this really fits very, very well within that climate change action plan. So through you, Mr. Chair, to the clerk, I guess I'm just trying to figure out how do I do that to pass a motion. We don't have $2 billion to contribute, or 30 million. I think that that's something really the other levels of government really need to get on board, because healthcare is really at the provincial level and at the federal level, and we really need to get them on board. So I would like to propose a motion that we support and endorse the plant-based treaty, and that all of these things are forward. This resolution is forwarded to the Region of Peel, as well as the province of Ontario and the federal government, whoever we want to send it to. I don't know who we send it to right now, but we can draft a motion through the clerks so that we can support your ask and your initiative. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I respond to that, or?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much. We really appreciate that, and what you said about health. So we're asking for like a motion that would include like measures, meaningful measures, and public education is one that is important, as you mentioned. And then, there are other measures that you can take, but you can look at what Brampton did, and it's a role model, I think, and it's your neighboring city. And we're also deputing in Mississauga, and it'd be nice to get those three towns and cities, and then the Region of Peel, because the Region of Peel has some jurisdiction over health. And everything you said was absolutely right about health. So I would strongly encourage you to look at Dr. Goldner and her partner, Thomas Tadlock. He has a best-selling book called Miracle Metabolism. So there's only one food in the whole world that if you put it in a petri dish with cancer cells will kill the cancer cells, and that's cruciferous vegetables. It's like cabbage, etc. So people don't understand how healthy raw cabbage, raw broccoli, you lose about 90% of the nutrients when you cook or steam them. So the green smoothie is a way to make it go down. How do you eat those pound of, how do you make it fun for your children, for yourself? And all of those diseases have been reversed. People who had kidney failure, it can be reversed through this. And then I think also the flaxseed and chia seeds, like it's the omega-3 that increases your metabolism. And so when you exercise, your cells do what they're supposed to do. When you exercise, they turn the fat into muscles. So that's why it's very important for omega-3. Meat, dairy, eggs, and vegetable oils and processed foods, any processed foods are inflammatory. And when you go to the raw vegetables, that's anti-inflammatory, and it works at the cellular level. And we have the Canada Food Guide, which is very ambitious, but we're not implementing it. Most adults and children don't eat the 5 servings, according to the 5 servings of vegetables and fruits, according to the World Health Organization. Ideally, it should be 10 servings, according to Dr. Kassam. People are they're not eating their servings. So we would like to offer the green smoothie at Earth Hour with, Eco Caledon, and also at your June event, we would just like to just get it out there and have people try it and feel healthier, happier, and more energetic.
So I'll make the suggestion, Mayor Groves, perhaps you can work through the before, because there is another speaker, and then you can table that post Councillor Rosa.
To the delegates, thank you very much for your presentation today. I recently was speaking to some students at the school where I teach, and in preparation for Plant-Based Food Week, which I believe is Holy Week, if I'm not mistaken, middle of April, where we promote fasting until Easter. This came up as a research where they're going to research recipes and also offer those options during that week to bring awareness. We have a tuck shop where they're going to be preparing green smoothies with flax and all of those things. So it's really resonating with young people, believe it or not. It's taking off with them. They see the benefits. It's the first time I've actually heard of some initiative like that in a school where, normally they like to eat junk food. So it's very interesting to see a shift in mentality, right? That this now became a priority in the community. So I will take pictures and send them out to you and, kind of give you some ideas. But this is something that they're working on currently, and it is a project that will be presented in the middle of April. So thank you very much for your presentation.